Chosen one, stop everything. Right now, in this very moment, heaven is speaking directly to you. This isn't a coincidence, nor is it just another video crossing your screen. This is a divine appointment, a sacred whisper from the Creator of the universe, calling your name with urgency and love. Picture a radiant scroll unfurling in the heavens, its golden edges glowing with your destiny, written in light, sealed with the promise of breakthrough. God says, this urgent message is for you right now. Open quickly. The Almighty has seen every tear you've shed in silence, every dream you've tucked away, every fear that's held you back. And today He declares, enough! Your time is here. This video unveils a unique truth. Your deepest fears are not chains. They are the very keys to your greatest breakthroughs, your spiritual awakening, your divine purpose. So, lean in, open your heart, and let the Spirit move you. Because what's coming next will shift everything. You've been through storms, haven't you? Nights where worry wrapped around your soul like a heavy fog. Days where you wondered if your prayers were even heard. Maybe you're facing a financial struggle, a relationship that's frayed, or a dream that feels too big for your hands to hold. God sees it all. Psalm 34:18 promises, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." Your pain wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Every moment you felt overlooked, every door that slammed shut, every doubt that whispered you weren't enough, it was all part of a divine setup, crafting you into a vessel for overflowing blessings. Imagine a potter shaping clay, pressing and molding it with care. That's what God has been doing with you, refining you for a prosperous life, for wealth creation, for a destiny so bold it will echo through generation. You are not forgotten, chosen one. You are being positioned. But why this urgency? Why now? Because heaven operates on divine timing, and this is your moment of personal transformation. Picture a clock in the spiritual realm, its hands aligning perfectly, ticking toward the hour of your breakthrough. God isn't waiting for you to be perfect. He's waiting for you to be ready. And right now, your spirit is stirring, sensing the shift. You felt it. Those quiet nudges, those dreams that wake you in the night, that unexplainable hope rising in your chest. That's the Holy Spirit whispering, get ready. Your faith journey is about to take flight. The enemy of your soul knows this too, and that's why fear has been so loud, trying to drown out God's voice. But fear is a liar. It's a shadow pretending to be a wall. Today, God is handing you the key to unlock your divine provision, to step into abundance, to claim the life He designed for you before the world began. Let me tell you about Sarah, a single mother I heard about from a small town in Ohio. She was drowning in debt, working 2 jobs, barely sleeping, her heart heavy with the fear that she'd never provide enough for her kids. One night, exhausted, she prayed a simple prayer: God, show me you're still here. The next day, she found an old notebook where she'd written a dream years ago, to start a small bakery. Fear had buried it, telling her it was impossible. But something stirred in her spirit, a spark of courage. She took one step. She wrote down a plan, just 1 page. Within weeks, a local church offered her a small grant she hadn't even applied for. A friend connected her with a mentor who helped her start small. Today, Sarah's bakery isn't just surviving, it's thriving. Employing others, blessing her community, her fear became her doorway to divine purpose. What fear is holding you back, chosen one? What dream has God planted in you that's waiting to bloom? This message is stirring something in you, isn't it? If your heart is saying, this is for me, I invite you to join thousands of chosen souls by pausing right now and typing in the comments, I am opening God's urgent message. Let heaven see your faith, let your spirit declare you're ready for what's next. And if this word is blessing you, consider supporting this ministry through Super Thanks to help us spread the light of divine provision to more chosen ones like you. Your generosity plants seeds for others' breakthroughs. Now, let's keep moving forward because God has practical steps for you to take today. Here's the truth. Your fears aren't obstacles. They're invitations. Every fear you face is a gate to your next level, a challenge to trust God's plan over your doubts. 2 Timothy 1:7 declares, "For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." Your fear of failure, of rejection, of not being enough, those are the raw materials God uses to build your testimony. But you must act. Faith without works is dead, so let's make this practical. I'm going to share 3 specific steps you can take right now to turn your fears into fuel for your destiny. These aren't vague ideas. They're actionable, relatable, and designed to spark your spiritual awakening. Write them down, chosen one, because these steps are your bridge to abundance. First, write one bold goal for this week. Not a vague wish, but a clear, God-inspired goal. Maybe it's applying for that job you're scared you won't get, starting the blog you've delayed, or saving $50.00 toward a dream. Grab a pen and paper or your phone and write it now. This week I will be specific. Proverbs 16:3 says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans." When Sarah wrote her bakery plan, it wasn't perfect, but it was a step of faith. Your goal doesn't need to be huge, it needs to be obedient. That act of writing aligns your heart with heaven's blueprint, signaling to God you're ready for divine strategy. Second, reach out to one person you need to reconnect with. Fear often isolates us, whispering that we're alone or that others won't understand. But God works through relationships. Is there someone you need to forgive, encourage, or ask for help? Maybe it's a friend you've drifted from, a mentor who could guide you, or a family member you've avoided. Send that text, make that call, or write that email today. Ecclesiastes 4:9 reminds us, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor." Your breakthrough may be waiting in a conversation you're scared to have. One message could unlock divine connections. Third, start one project you've been delaying. Fear loves procrastination, telling you it's not the right time, you're not ready, or you'll fail. But God says, now is the time. What's that project? A business idea, a book outline, a workout plan, a prayer journal? Take one tangible step today. Create a document, buy a notebook, or schedule an hour to begin. When I heard about a man named David in Atlanta, he was terrified to launch his nonprofit for youth mentorship. He started with one step. He emailed a local school to volunteer. That email led to partnerships, funding, and a program that's now changing lives. James 2:17 says, "Faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead." Your small step today is a seed for your prosperous life tomorrow. These 3 steps, writing a goal, reconnecting with someone, and starting a project, are your keys to unlock God's urgent message. Don't overcomplicate it. They're simple but powerful, designed to move you from fear to faith, from survival to overflow. Commit to them this week and watch how heaven responds. But let me warn you, the enemy will try to distract you, doubt will creep in, busyness will pull you away, fear will whisper, "Not yet." Stand firm. Ephesians 6:13 says, "Put on the full armor of God, so that when the day of evil comes, you may be able to stand your ground." You're not just acting, you're aligning with divine purpose. Now, imagine this. A golden door stands before you, your name carved in its shimmering surface, radiating warmth and promise. Behind it lies your destiny, financial freedom, restored relationships, a life of impact. The only thing between you and that door is fear, but fear isn't a lock. It's a shadow. Step through it, God is on the other side, ready to pour out blessings that overflow. As Malachi 3:10 promises, "Test me in this, says the Lord Almighty, and see if I will not throw open the floodgates of heaven." Your obedience is the key, your faith the hand that turns it. What's waiting for you on the other side? A life where lack no longer defines you, where your story becomes a testimony of God's faithfulness. But what if the fear you're facing is the very doorway to your divine provision? What if the doubts holding you back are the final test before your breakthrough? Let's keep going, chosen one, because God's urgent message is just beginning to unfold. And the next revelation will ignite your soul. Chosen one, let's dive deeper into this sacred moment, because God's urgent message is not just a call to act. It's an invitation to see yourself as heaven sees you. Picture a vast ocean, its waves shimmering under a sky ablaze with stars, each one reflecting a promise God has spoken over your life. You are not adrift in this sea of uncertainty. You are anchored by divine purpose, guided by a light that never fades. The fears that once felt like towering waves are now ripples beneath the strength of your faith. This is your spiritual awakening, a season where every step you take aligns with God's plan, pulling you closer to a prosperous life filled with abundance and impact. Let's explore what it means to walk boldly in this truth, because heaven is ready to move mountains for you. You might be wondering, why me, why now? The answer lies in God's perfect design. Before you were formed, before your first breath, Jeremiah 1:5 declares, "Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart." Your life is not a random series of events. It's a masterpiece woven with intention, every thread of pain, hope, and courage leading to this moment of personal transformation. The struggles you've faced, the fears that have kept you awake, they weren't meant to break you. They were meant to reveal the strength within you. Think of a diamond, hidden in rough stone, shaped by pressure, polished by time. That's you, chosen one. Your fears are the grit that's refining your brilliance, preparing you for a destiny that will shine for generations. Let's talk about fear for a moment, not as an enemy, but as a messenger. Fear often disguises itself as a barrier, but what if it's a signpost pointing to your next breakthrough? Imagine a forest path, overgrown with thorns, leading to a clearing bathed in golden light. The thorns are your fears, sharp, intimidating, but not impassable. Each one you push through brings you closer to the clearing, where clarity, provision, and purpose await. When you wrote that goal, reached out to someone, or started that project, you were stepping past those thorns, choosing faith over hesitation. Now, let's build on that momentum. God's urgent message isn't just about taking action, it's about sustaining it. About living in a rhythm of trust that drowns out doubt. Consider the story of Michael, a teacher from a small town in Georgia. He dreamed of writing a book to inspire his students, but fear of rejection kept him stuck. He'd start, then stop, convinced his words weren't good enough. One Sunday, his pastor preached on Isaiah 41:10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God." Those words hit Michael like a lightning bolt. He decided to act on the 3 steps we've shared. He wrote a goal: finish 1 chapter by Friday. He called an old college friend, a published author, who offered to read his draft. He started his project by setting aside 1 hour each evening to write. Within months, Michael's book was not only finished but picked up by a small publisher. His fear of failure became the spark for a testimony that now inspires hundreds. What could your next step unlock, chosen one? This isn't about chasing success as the world defines it, money, fame, or status. This is about wealth creation through alignment with God's purpose, about building a life where financial freedom flows from obedience, not striving. Picture a river, its current steady and strong, carrying you toward divine provision. You don't need to paddle frantically. You need to stay in the flow. Those 3 steps, writing a goal, reconnecting, starting a project, are your oars, keeping you aligned with the current. Every time you act in faith, you're tapping into heaven's economy, where lack is a myth and overflow is your birthright. Deuteronomy 28:12 promises, "The Lord will open the heavens, the storehouse of his bounty, to bless all the work of your hands." Your hands are moving now, chosen one, and heaven is responding. But let's be real, fear doesn't vanish overnight. It lingers, whispering, "What if you fail? What if it's too late?" That's why this message is urgent. God is calling you to reframe fear, to see it as a signal that you're on the edge of something holy. Imagine a tightrope stretched across a canyon, the wind howling below. Fear tells you to turn back, but faith says, step forward. God's got you. Each step you take, writing that goal, making that call, starting that project, builds a bridge beneath your feet. You're not walking alone. Psalm 91:11 assures, "For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all your ways." Angels are surrounding you right now, clearing obstacles, aligning opportunities, whispering courage into your soul. If this word is igniting your spirit, pause and declare it to the world. Type in the comments, "I am walking through fear into my destiny." Let heaven hear your voice. Let the community of chosen ones rally around your faith. This is more than a comment, it's a prophetic act, a signal to the universe that you're claiming your divine purpose. And if this message is stirring your heart, consider liking this video and subscribing to stay connected to the flow of God's truth. Join thousands of souls stepping into their prosperous lives, because this journey is just beginning. Now let's talk about the lies fear tells you, because they're not just distractions, they're attacks on your calling. Fear says you're too broken, too old, too inexperienced. But God says you're chosen, timeless, equipped. Think of Moses, a man who stuttered and doubted, yet led a nation because God's power trumped his fears. Or Ruth, a widow with nothing, who stepped into a legacy that birthed kings. Your story is no less significant. Picture a seed buried in dark soil, pressed down by weight, unseen by the world. That's where you've been planted, not buried. Now, the soil is cracking open and your breakthrough is sprouting, ready to bear fruit that feeds nations. Your fears are the soil. Your faith is the sunlight. What does this look like in your life? It's the moment you pay a bill and find peace instead of panic, trusting God for the next. It's the courage to pitch that idea at work, knowing your voice carries divine weight. It's the choice to forgive someone who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because your heart deserves freedom. These are the fruits of a faith journey rooted in God's urgent message. They're not loud or flashy, they're holy. And they're building a foundation for a life where abundance isn't just money, but joy, clarity, and purpose. Imagine waking up each day with a quiet confidence, knowing your needs are covered, your path is guided, your impact is eternal. That's the life God is calling you to. But here's where it gets deeper. Your fears aren't just personal, they're generational. The doubts you carry, the limits you've accepted, They may echo the struggles of your parents, your grandparents, or beyond. God's urgent message is a call to break those chains, to rewrite your family's story. Picture a tree, its roots tangled in scarcity, its branches heavy with fear. You are the one chosen to prune those branches, to plant new roots in faith, to grow a legacy of overflowing blessings. When you act on those 3 steps, you're not just changing your life. You're shifting the trajectory for those who come after you. Isaiah 61:7 promises, "Instead of your shame you will receive a double portion, and instead of disgrace you will rejoice in your inheritance." Your inheritance is here, chosen one, waiting for you to claim it. Let's pause on that word, inheritance. It's not just money or land, it's the spiritual wealth God has stored up for you. It's the wisdom to make decisions that prosper, the courage to love without fear, the vision to build what lasts. When you wrote that goal, you were claiming a piece of that inheritance. When you reached out to someone, you were investing in it. When you started that project, you were building on it. These aren't random acts. They're sacred investments in a future where lack has no place. Picture a vault in heaven, overflowing with resources, ideas, and connections, all labeled with your name. Every step of faith is a withdrawal from that vault, bringing heaven's abundance into your reality. But fear will try to block you, whispering that you're not worthy of such blessings. Let me remind you of a woman named Esther, an orphan raised in exile who feared she wasn't enough to save her people. Yet God positioned her as a queen, using her courage to shift history. Your fears don't disqualify you, they qualify you, because they've taught you to lean on God's strength. Esther 4:14 says, "And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." This is your such a time moment, chosen one. Your fears are the stage where God's power will shine, turning your story into a beacon of hope. Now, imagine standing on a mountaintop, the wind carrying away every doubt, the horizon stretching endlessly before you. That's where God is leading you. A place of clarity, where fear no longer clouds your vision, where your purpose burns bright. The 3 steps you're taking are the path up that mountain, each one a declaration that you trust God more than you trust fear. But the climb isn't over. There's more to discover, more to receive, more to become. What if the next step you take opens a door you never imagined? What if the fear you conquer today becomes the testimony that inspires thousands tomorrow? Let's keep climbing, chosen one, because God's urgent message is leading you to heights you've only dreamed of. Chosen one, let's ascend higher, because God's urgent message is pulling you into a realm where fear transforms into fuel, where your dreams aren't just possibilities but promises taking shape. Visualize a vast desert, once barren and dry, now blooming with vibrant flowers, each petal a testament to God's power to bring life where none seemed possible. That's your soul right now, once parched by doubt, now flourishing with divine purpose, ready to bear fruit in a prosperous life. This isn't about escaping fear, it's about harnessing it, letting it propel you toward the abundance God has prepared. Your faith journey is no longer a solitary walk. It's a divine expedition, and every step is rewriting your story. The world may tell you to shrink, to play it safe, to let fear dictate your limits, but God's voice is louder, declaring through Isaiah 55:89, "For my thoughts are not your thoughts, neither are your ways my ways. As the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways." Your fears, those nagging thoughts that you're not ready, that you'll fail, that you're alone, are earthly shadows, not heavenly truths. God sees you as a trailblazer, a vessel of His glory, equipped for wealth creation and world-changing impact. Picture a lighthouse standing firm against crashing waves, its beam cutting through the darkest storm. That's you, chosen one, radiating divine provision, unshaken by fear, guiding others to safety with your light. Let's ground this in a story that feels like it could be yours. Imagine Rachel, a graphic designer from Seattle, who always felt a pull to create art that inspired hope. Fear told her it was impractical, that she'd never make a living from it. Bills piled up, and self-doubt grew louder. One evening, scrolling online, she stumbled on a verse, Philippians 4:13. I can do all this through him who gives me strength. It wasn't new, but it hit differently. She acted on the 3 steps we've shared. She wrote a goal: design 1 piece of art this week. She emailed a local gallery owner she'd met years ago, nervously asking to showcase her work. She started her project by sketching a single image, a sunrise over a city, symbolizing new beginnings. That sketch caught the gallery owner's eye, leading to an exhibition. Today, Rachel's art sells worldwide, funding scholarships for young artists. Her fear of being impractical became her gateway to divine strategy. What fear is God asking you to reframe today? This message is sparking something in you, isn't it? If your spirit is leaping, pause and declare it. Type in the comments, I am fueled by faith, not fear. Let this be your battle cry, a signal to heaven that you're embracing your divine purpose. Your words are joining a chorus of chosen ones, stepping into their breakthroughs. And if this word is lifting you, consider blessing this ministry with a super thanks to help us carry God's light to more souls seeking their prosperous life. Your support is a seed sown into eternal soil. Now, let's press forward, because God's urgent message is unveiling new layers. Fear often masquerades as wisdom, urging you to wait for the perfect moment, but perfection is a myth, and God's timing is now. Ecclesiastes 11:4 warns, whoever watches the wind will not plant, whoever looks at the clouds will not reap. The 3 steps you're taking, writing that goal, reconnecting with someone, starting that project, are your planting season. They're not about having all the answers. They're about trusting the one who does. Each step is a seed, and God is the gardener, ensuring a harvest of overflowing blessings. Picture a field, golden with ripe wheat, swaying under a warm sun. That's your future, chosen one. A harvest of opportunities, relationships, and resources, all growing from the seeds you sow today. But let's go deeper. Fear doesn't just block action, it distorts identity. It whispers that you're defined by your mistakes, your losses, your struggles. God's urgent message counters that lie with a truth. You are defined by His love, His call, His promises. Romans 8:37 proclaims, in all these things we are more than conquerors through Him who loved us. You're not just surviving, you're conquering, building a legacy of faith that will outlast you. Imagine a tapestry, each thread a moment of your life. Every fear faced, every prayer whispered, every step taken. God is weaving it into a masterpiece, a story that will inspire others to trust Him. Your identity isn't in what you've lost, it's in what you're becoming. Think about the ripple effect of your courage. When you act on those 3 steps, you're not just changing your life, you're igniting hope in others. Picture a single pebble dropped into a still lake, its ripples spreading far beyond the point of impact. That's your influence, chosen one. Your decision to write that goal might inspire a friend to pursue their dream. Your call to reconnect might heal a family wound, shifting generations. Your project's first step might birth a movement that touches thousands. This is what it means to live for divine purpose, not just for yourself, but for the lives God has tied to your obedience. Let's meet James, a carpenter from rural Texas who feared he was too old to start over. At 55, he'd lost his job and felt his best years were behind him. Fear told him to settle, to accept a life of scraping by. But one night, he heard Psalm 92:14, "They will still bear fruit in old age, they will stay fresh and green." It stirred him. He wrote a goal: build one custom table this month. He called his son, estranged for years, to ask for help sourcing wood. He started his project by sketching a design in his garage. That table sold to a local restaurant, leading to a contract for more. Today, James runs a small furniture business, employing his son and mentoring young craftsmen. His fear of being too old became his platform for divine provision. What lie is fear telling you about your potential? This isn't about chasing wealth for wealth's sake. It's about aligning with God's economy, where abundance flows from purpose, not pride. Picture a marketplace in heaven, its stalls overflowing with ideas, connections, and solutions, all available to those who walk in faith. Your 3 steps are your currency in this marketplace, buying you access to divine strategies that the world can't offer. Malachi 3:11 says, "I will prevent pests from devouring your crops, and the vines in your fields will not drop their fruit before it is ripe." God is protecting your harvest, ensuring your efforts bear fruit. Your job is to keep moving, to trust that every step is backed by heaven's resources. But fear will try to pull you back, disguising itself as caution, whispering, "What if you're not enough?" Let's silence that lie with the truth. You are enough because God is enough. His strength fills your gaps, His wisdom guides your steps, His love secures your worth. Imagine a warrior clad in armor forged by divine hands, standing unshaken before a battlefield. That's you, chosen one, armed with faith, shielded by grace, empowered by the Spirit. Ephesians 3:20 promises, "Now to Him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to His power that is at work within us." Your fears are no match for the power within you. Now let's talk about the atmosphere you're creating. Every time you act on those 3 steps, you're shifting the spiritual climate around you. Picture a room filled with heavy fog, oppressive and dim. Your faith is a breeze, clearing the air, revealing a space vibrant with possibility. Your goal sets a tone of purpose. Your outreach builds a bridge of connection. Your project sparks a fire of creativity. This isn't just about you, it's about the people watching, the ones who need your courage to find their own. Your life is a sermon, preached not in words but in actions, proving that God's promises are real. What if the fear you're wrestling with is the final gate to your destiny? What if the doubts you're battling are the last shadows before dawn? God's urgent message is calling you to rise, to see your fears as stepping stones, to walk boldly into a future where abundance, purpose, and impact define you. Let's keep moving, chosen one, because the view from the next peak will take your breath away. Chosen one, let's journey further into the heart of God's urgent message, where the landscape of your soul is being reshaped, where fear is no longer a captor, but a catalyst for your divine purpose. Envision a majestic mountain range, its peaks piercing the clouds. Each summit a milestone in your faith journey, glowing with the promise of a prosperous life. You're not just climbing, you're soaring, lifted by the winds of divine provision, guided by a vision that fear can no longer obscure. This is your moment to embrace the vastness of God's plan, to see your fears as invitations to step into a destiny that radiates abundance and impact. Let's explore this new terrain, because heaven is unveiling truths that will redefine how you move forward. Your fears, though persistent, are not your truth. They are echoes of a world that thrives on limitation, but you were created for expansion. Picture a seed breaking through concrete, its delicate sprout defying the weight above it. That's your spirit right now, pushing past the heavy layers of doubt, reaching for the sunlight of God's promises. John 10:10 declares, "I have come that they may have life and have it to the full." This fullness, overflowing blessings, financial freedom, unshakable peace, is your inheritance, and the 3 steps you're taking are your claim to it. Writing that goal, reconnecting with someone, starting that project. These are acts of defiance against fear, declarations that you trust God's abundance over the world's scarcity. Let's anchor this with a story that feels close to home. Meet Aisha, a nurse from Chicago, who always sensed she was meant to do more than clock in and out. She dreamed of opening a community health clinic, but fear of failure kept her silent. Bills loomed and her confidence waned. One morning she read Joshua 1:9. "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." It was a spark. She acted on the 3 steps. She wrote a goal, research one funding option this week. She called a colleague who'd started a non-profit, asking for advice. She began her project by drafting a 1-page proposal. That proposal caught the eye of a local foundation, leading to a grant that launched her clinic. Today, Aisha's work serves hundreds, proving her fear was a doorway to divine strategy. What fear is God inviting you to step through? This message is stirring your spirit, isn't it? If your heart is pounding with possibility, pause and proclaim it. Type in the comments, "I am claiming my divine inheritance." Let this be your anthem, a beacon to heaven that you're ready for your breakthrough. Your voice joins countless chosen ones embracing their personal transformation. And if this word is fueling your faith, consider liking this video and subscribing to stay anchored in God's truth. Join a movement of souls stepping into their prosperous lives, because this journey is unfolding with infinite promise. Now, let's talk about vision, the kind that sees beyond fear's fog, that pierces the veil of doubt to reveal God's blueprint for your life. Fear narrows your sight, but faith expands it. Imagine standing on a cliff's edge, a vast canyon sprawling before you, its depths hidden in mist. As you trust God, the mist clears, revealing bridges, rivers, and fields of opportunity. Your 3 steps are clearing that mist. Writing your goal sharpens your focus. Reconnecting with someone opens new pathways. Starting your project builds the bridge. These actions aren't just tasks, they're revelations, showing you the scope of your divine purpose. Habakkuk 2:2-3 urges, "Write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets, so that a herald may run with it. For the vision is ripening, chosen one, ready to run." But vision requires courage, because fear will tempt you to settle for less. It will point to your past, your failures, your lacks, and say, "This is all you are." God's urgent message counters with a truth. You are more than your circumstances. You are a co-creator with the Almighty, wired for wealth creation, destined for impact. Picture an artist before a blank canvas. Every stroke, a choice to create beauty. That's you, painting your future with every act of faith. Your goal is a bold stroke of purpose. Your outreach is a splash of connection. Your project is a masterpiece in progress. Each choice drowns out fear, filling your canvas with colors of abundance and hope. Let's consider the power of your influence. Your courage isn't just for you, it's a spark that ignites others. Imagine a single candle in a dark room, its flames small but fierce, lighting other wicks until the space glows. Your 3 steps are that flame. When you write your goal, you inspire someone watching to dream again. When you reconnect, you model forgiveness for a friend trapped in bitterness. When you start your project, you show a child what faith looks like. This is the essence of a faith journey, not just personal gain, but communal transformation. Your life is a living testimony, proving that God's promises are not myths, but realities. 1 Peter 2:9 declares, "You are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light." Your light is shining, chosen one, and it's drawing others to God. Now, let's talk about timing. Fear loves to whisper, "You're too late." But God's clock is eternal. Picture a cosmic hourglass. Its sands falling, not to count down, but to build a foundation for your destiny. Every fear you've faced, every delay you've endured, has been a grain of sand, strengthening the ground beneath you. Your 3 steps: are you building on that foundation, not starting from scratch? Ecclesiastes 3:1 reminds us, "There is a time for everything, and a season for every activity under the heavens." This is your season, not of waiting, but of acting, of harvesting the divine provision God has stored up for you. But fear will try to sabotage your timing, urging you to rush or retreat. It will point to others' success and say, "You're behind." God's urgent message silences that lie with the truth. Your path is unique, your timing divine. Think of Abraham, called to father nations at an age when most would retire. Or Mary, a teenager chosen to birth the Savior. Their timing defied logic, but it fulfilled God's plan. Your 3 steps are perfectly timed, aligning you with opportunities others can't see. Your goal taps into divine wisdom. Your outreach unlocks divine connections. Your project births divine impact. You're not late. You're right on time. Let's explore the spiritual weight of your actions. Every step you take is a prayer in motion, a declaration that you trust God's abundance over fear's scarcity. Picture a sacred altar, its stones etched with your prayers, glowing with the fire of your faith. Writing your goal places a stone of intention on that altar. Reconnecting with someone adds a stone of love. Starting your project ignites the flame. This altar isn't hidden. It's a beacon, drawing heaven's resources to you. Psalm 25 promises, "May we shout for joy over your victory and lift up our banners in the name of our God." May the Lord grant all your requests. Your steps are your banners raised high, signaling victory. But what about the resistance you feel? Fear doesn't give up easily. It morphs, disguising itself as fatigue, distraction, or comparison. God's urgent message equips you to stand firm. Ephesians 6:11 urges, "Put on the full armor of God, so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes." Your armor is forged in faith, polished by obedience. Your goal is your shield, deflecting doubt. Your outreach is your sword, cutting through isolation. Your project is your helmet, guarding your mind. This isn't a battle you're fighting alone. Angels are warring on your behalf, clearing paths, aligning divine appointments. Imagine this, a royal banquet, its table laden with every good thing, provision, peace, purpose. Your name is written on the invitation, but fear stands at the door, whispering that you don't belong. Your 3 steps are your RSVP, proving you're ready to feast. Each step silences fear, opens the door wider, and seats you at God's table. What's on the menu? Divine strategies for your dreams, connections for your calling, resources for your vision. This is the life God designed. A life where fear bows to faith, where lack surrenders to abundance, where your story becomes a symphony of God's glory. What if the resistance you're facing is the final test before your divine unveiling? What if the fears you're conquering are the last shadows before a dawn that will blind the world with your light? God's urgent message is calling you to keep moving, to see every fear as a stepping stone to a future where your purpose reigns. Let's press on, chosen one, because the next revelation will shake the foundations of doubt and set your spirit ablaze. Chosen one, let's venture deeper into the sacred urgency of God's message, where the terrain of your heart is being transformed into a sanctuary of divine purpose. Picture a golden compass, its needle spinning wildly before settling on a path illuminated by starlight, pointing directly to your destiny. You are not lost in the wilderness of fear. You are guided, your every step aligned with a plan that stretches beyond time, woven into the fabric of heaven's promises. This is your spiritual awakening, a season where fear becomes the raw material for a life of abundance, where your faith journey carves a legacy that echoes through eternity. Let's explore this holy ground, because God is calling you to embrace a vision so bold it will redefine your reality. Fear often feels like a cage, but God sees it as a chrysalis, preparing you for wings of divine provision. Imagine a butterfly emerging, its colors vibrant against the dawn, its flight a testament to transformation. That's you, right now, chosen one, breaking free from the constraints of doubt, ready to soar into a prosperous life. The 3 steps you're taking: writing that goal, reconnecting with someone, starting that project, are the cracks in that chrysalis, splitting open to reveal the strength God has been cultivating within you. Romans 12:2 urges, "Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is." Your mind is renewing, your fears reshaping into faith, your actions aligning with God's perfect will. Let's ground this with a story that feels like it could be yours. Consider Jamal, a mechanic from Detroit, who always felt a pull to teach kids about cars, to give them skills for a better future. Fear told him he wasn't a teacher, that no one would care. Debt and long hours made his dream feel impossible. One evening, he stumbled on Psalm 37:4. "Take delight in the Lord, and He will give you the desires of your heart." It struck him deeply. He acted on the 3 steps. He wrote a goal: create a workshop plan by next week. He called a local youth center, nervously offering to volunteer. He started his project by gathering old tools in his garage. That plan led to a free weekly class funded by a community grant he didn't even know existed. Today, Jamal's workshops empower dozens of teens, breaking cycles of poverty. His fear of not being enough became his bridge to divine strategy. What desire has God placed in your heart that fear is trying to silence? This message is setting your spirit ablaze, isn't it? If your soul is stirring, pause and declare it. Type in the comments, "I am breaking free for my destiny." Let this be your proclamation, a signal to heaven that you're claiming your divine purpose. Your words unite you with a community of chosen ones stepping into their breakthroughs. And if this word is igniting your faith, consider blessing this ministry with a super thanks to help us spread God's light to more souls seeking their prosperous lives. Your generosity fuels a movement of hope. Now let's press deeper, because God's urgent message is unveiling new dimensions of your calling. Fear often cloaks itself in familiarity, urging you to cling to what's known, even if it's small. But God's call is to the unknown, where abundance awaits. Picture a ship docked at a familiar shore, its sails furled, safe but still. Your 3 steps are the winds unfurling those sails, pushing you toward uncharted waters where divine provision flows. Writing your goal charts the course. Writing your goal charts the course. Writing your crew Starting your project sets the ship in motion. These actions aren't just steps, they're a voyage, carrying you to a land of wealth creation and purpose-driven impact. Isaiah 43:19 declares, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it?" God is doing a new thing in you, chosen one, and your obedience is bringing it to life. But let's talk about the waves you'll face. Fear's attempts to rock your boat. It might whisper, "You're not ready," or "You'll sink." These are lies, not truths. Your readiness isn't in your perfection, it's in your trust. Think of Peter stepping out of the boat to walk on water toward Jesus. Matthew 14:29 says, "He walked on the water and came toward Jesus." Peter's fear didn't disqualify him. His faith propelled him. Your 3 steps are your water-walking moment, defying fear's logic, proving God's power. Your goal is a step on the waves. Your outreach is a hand reaching for Jesus. Your project is a stride toward glory. Each move silences fear, anchoring you in divine timing. Now imagine the ripple effect of your voyage. Your courage isn't just for you, it's a beacon for others lost in fear's storm. Picture a lighthouse on a rocky coast, its beam piercing the night, guiding ships to safety. Your 3 steps are that beam. Your goal inspires a friend to dream bigger. Your outreach shows a family member the power of forgiveness. Your project sparks hope in a community. This is the heart of a faith journey, not just personal gain, but collective transformation. Your life is a signal to others that God's promises are real, that fear can be conquered, that abundance is possible. 2 Corinthians 9:8 assures, "And God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work." Your abundance is overflowing, chosen one, touching lives you may never see. Let's meet Elena, a single mother from Miami who feared she'd never escape a dead-end job. She dreamed of starting a catering business, but fear of financial ruin kept her stuck. One Sunday she heard a sermon on Philippians 1:6, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion." It resonated. She wrote a goal: cater 1 event this month. She called a friend who owned a restaurant, asking for a chance to showcase her food. She started her project by cooking a sample menu in her tiny kitchen. That menu impressed a local church, leading to a contract for their events. Today, Elena's business thrives, funding her daughter's college dreams. Her fear of ruin became her path to divine provision. What fear is God turning into your triumph? This isn't about chasing worldly success. It's about aligning with God's economy, where wealth creation flows from purpose, not pride. Picture a marketplace in heaven. Its stalls brimming with ideas, opportunities, and connections, all labeled with your name. Your 3 steps are your currency, buying you access to divine strategies. Writing your goal taps into wisdom. Reconnecting builds networks. Starting your project unlocks resources. These aren't random acts. They're investments in a future where lack is a memory and overflow is your norm. Deuteronomy 28:8 promises, "The Lord will send a blessing on your barns and on everything you put your hand to." Your hands are moving, chosen one, and blessings are following. But fear will try to anchor you, whispering that you're not worthy of such favor. God's urgent message counters with a truth. Your worth is in His love, not your achievements. Imagine a crown, forged in heaven, set with jewels of grace, purpose, and promise. That's yours, chosen one, not because you earned it, but because God chose you and appointed you so that you might go and bear fruit, fruit that will last. Your 3 steps are your coronation, declaring you're ready to reign in your calling. Your goal is your scepter, your outreach, your decree, your project, your throne. Fear has no place in this kingdom. Now, let's talk about the atmosphere you're shifting. Your faith is a melody resonating in the spiritual realm, harmonizing with heaven's song. Picture a symphony, its notes rising and falling, transforming chaos into beauty. Your 3 steps are the notes, your goal a crescendo of vision, your outreach a chord of unity, your project a rhythm of impact. This melody is changing the air around you, dispelling fear's dissonance, inviting divine harmony. Galatians 3:15 urges, "Let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, since as members of one body you were called to peace." Your peace is ruling, chosen one, creating space for God's glory to dwell. But fear will try to disrupt this harmony, posing as urgency or chaos. It might push you to rush, to doubt, to compare. God's message is clear: stay steady. Your 3 steps are your rhythm, keeping you in sync with divine timing. Think of Noah, building an ark amid ridicule, his faith unwavering. Genesis 6:22 says, "Noah did everything just as God commanded him." Your obedience is your ark, carrying you through fear's flood to a land of promise. Your goal is the blueprint, your outreach the crew, your project the voyage. Each step builds something eternal, unshaken by fear's taunts. Imagine this: a sacred flame, burning bright in a world of shadows, its warmth drawing hearts to God. That's your life, chosen one, a testament to His faithfulness. Your 3 steps are fanning that flame, spreading light where fear once reigned. What if the fear you're facing is the final spark needed to ignite a fire that changes everything? What if the doubts you're overcoming are the kindling for a blaze of divine purpose? God's urgent message is calling you to keep stoking that flame, to let your faith burn bright, to walk boldly into a future where abundance and impact are your legacy. Let's keep moving, chosen one, because the next revelation will set your heart ablaze with possibility.